This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hey dog lovers, this is Have Dog Will Travel. I am Josh Henry.
And I'm Kristi Vaughn. And today we are talking with Randall Ray, who is the founder and owner of PuppyPals App. Hi, Randall. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, pleasure. Glad you could join us.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Randall, can you tell us a little bit about your app and what it does?
Yeah, so PuppyPals is a mobile app that shows dog-friendly places around Atlanta. We hope to be expanding really, really soon, definitely within 2019. I first got the idea when I moved to Atlanta, and I didn't know that many people, and I adopted Shadow from Rescue Me, Georgia. He was 5 weeks old, and I really explored the city with him and, just kept learning Atlanta by finding new places that I could bring him. But I found there wasn't really a reliable source out there that really let me know what was actually dog friendly and not just dog tolerable, which I find are two very, very different things. Yeah. And Shadow kept growing. They told me he would be 30 to 35 pounds and he's 90 pounds. So then it became a bigger deal of, places that would allow dogs that size, so not only did I want like a reliable source of information of dog-friendly places, but I was working for a clothing store at the time that allowed dogs, and there wasn't really a sign that said that. So people would often walk by the store and they'd be, have their dog and they'd kind of be like peeking and window shopping. And whenever I could, I'd run out and be like, oh, you can bring your dog in. And they were like so excited. And then the store would normally get a sale. And so it was like great day for everybody. And that's when I realized that there was a mutual benefit for businesses to be able to reach out to that dog-friendly community as well. So PuppyPals was born.
Nice.
That's a great story.
Thank you.
Wow. And I like the difference between dog-friendly and dog-tolerable.
Yes.
I haven't we haven't used those terms before. We just use dog-friendly for pretty much everywhere we go, but it's not the case, as you just said.
Exactly.
So sometimes they're allowed, out on a patio of a restaurant. Sometimes they're actually allowed inside. So there's definitely a difference.
And we actually take the time we call it PuppyPals Certified. We certify every place that is on our app with our logo next to it. That's sort of like our stamp of approval. And what we do is we check with each venue to make sure that they allow all breeds and sizes of dogs. And that in the case of restaurants that they're allowed on the patio and not tied up to like the other side of the fence of a patio, because my dog is not well behaved enough to be on the other side of a fence.
I mean, who wants to take their dog somewhere and then just tie them up and not have them with them?
Exactly.
So I mean, the whole point of taking your dog somewhere is to actually bring them with you and share that experience with you as well. So having them right there as you're eating is, and maybe slip them some food. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Plus,
I don't know who does that.
What sort of breed did you say? What breed is Shadow?
So they told me he was a small husky mix, and I actually got his DNA tested when I got him, and he kept growing. I was like, what's going on here? So he's half lab, a quarter husky, and a quarter unknown, which they sort of thought was shepherd. And he actually just had to have a root canal a couple of weeks ago. He was fine. But I was a nervous wreck at the time.
Sure.
But he's totally fine. But they told me something in like the structure of his teeth. They said that he's actually a dingo dog.
Whoa.
And they thought that was like the unknown shepherd part of him. So, to be determined.
You have yourself a dingo.
I have a dingo. Luckily, I don't have a baby.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because when you say dog friendly versus dog tolerant, we're both pit bull owners, so that's one of the things that we're kind of weary of is some places say they're dog friendly, but there's a breed prejudice, so It's dog friendly if Yeah,
and I mean I joke too that I'm like other pit bulls are probably much more well behaved than Shadow even is sometimes, but because he's a lab mix, people are just like, oh, he's fine, and people just have that stereotype about pit bulls, which just isn't really fair.
Yeah, no.
Oh, we agree.
We totally agree. So tell us, when did you become a dog lover?
I mean, I've always liked dogs, and we had family dogs, growing up, mostly outdoor. And then I had been wanting a dog for a really long time, but it just kept moving places where they weren't allowed. And so it was just never a really good time to get one. And then when I moved to Atlanta almost 5 years ago, like it was a rule. I was like, I am not moving anywhere unless they allow dogs. And come to find out, Atlanta's super dog friendly. So that wasn't hard to find. But yeah, and then I got Shadow, and I mean, he's just been my baby. And I just, I mean, he's the center of my world. And obviously, like I joke with him all the time because he can totally understand me. I'm like, you don't know how much I love you. Like I created a business around spending more time with you and bringing you everywhere with me.
That's true love.
Exactly.
Yeah. And where did you get him?
Rescue Me, Georgia.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Nice.
Yeah.
Why do you feel it's important for people to be able to bring their dogs with them when they go places?
For me, Shadow is really like, not just like a companion, but he's also like a protector. And, like I've never certified him as emotional support dog, but he definitely is that to me, But I mean, as long as your dog is well behaved and you're like willing to take the responsibility, as I think any pet owner should, like, hey, if my dog starts acting up, it's my responsibility to remove them. I mean, I joke that a lot of dogs are better behaved than a lot of children out there.
Absolutely.
So, no offense to children, love kids too, But yeah, I mean, as long as they're well behaved and the owner is willing to, keep them outside and in, the designated dog area, why not? But it's also really important to me when I'm reaching out to businesses to, get them added to the app. I'm not trying to convince anybody to be dog friendly that isn't, because that's sort of when you run into those problems. And that's when you get like those dog tolerable places, So I just want to be able to let people out there know who is dog friendly and let them know, go and have a great time with your dog. But I'm not trying to bend your arm and make you love dogs if you don't.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a great point, because what is that really going to accomplish? Like that, it just doesn't make any sense. And especially when there are places out there that, have true dog lovers, that are running that business and are really open to them, and not even just open to them, like want them there, What's your favorite thing about dogs?
I mean, I guess that they're like always so happy to see you. And, there are those like funny quotes, like if we could all just live our lives the way like dogs do and, just always like be happy when you're greeting somebody and be loyal to them, stuff like that. And that's what I love that about Shadow. Like, I love knowing that I'm going home and like I have somebody that's really happy that I'm coming home, and just like their loyalty. And, Shadow's very protective. And that's something that I didn't even realize I was missing until I got a dog, just like I always feel so safe and secure whenever he's with me. So
yeah, that's awesome. And it's funny because I think every episode so far the kid analogy has come up.
Yes, I think so.
But it is such a true thing, because in so many ways, in one, dog owners or parents being sort of delusional about the behavior of their kid, but also one of the great things about dogs to me is that Stella will never be a teenager and start to hate me for a period of time.
Exactly.
She'll always love you.
Right. Despite the love and effort I put into her, it's just unconditional love.
Exactly.
And, and some people like to try to mock dog owners and say that, well, you need that because you're, something pathetic or whatever. Like, no, but it's awesome. It's not that I need that, but it's pretty great, and so, I love that, knowing that they will just always be ready to welcome me home and cuddle and
it never gets old.
Yeah, exactly. And like the dog mom and hashtag dog mom, hashtag dog dad, like culture is becoming such a big thing. And I understand like how people with parents of real human children, don't like that comparison. And I get that, but for me, it's like, I'm not saying that being a dog mom is the same as being a mom, but it's the closest thing I have to compare it to,
Right,
and with human children, you're raising them, knowing that they're going to one day go to the bathroom by themselves and feed themselves and become productive members of society.
Right.
Hopefully,
Sometimes.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
But with dogs, like they're always relying on you.
Right.
It's almost like you have this toddler for the rest of your life,
That's a great point.
And then, for me, and I might be a little like over the top about it, but I probably cry like 3 times a week thinking about like one day Shadow's not going to be here,
yeah, me too.
And
Me too.
so that's
Same.
like the hard thing. It's like you love this little creature more than life itself, and one day you're going to have to say goodbye. Where it's like, obviously with human children, like the hope and the prayer is that, the child one day says goodbye to the parent, but like we are raising these animals that a lot of us consider to be like our children. And we know one day we're going to have to say goodbye to them. And that's just like, I mean, it breaks my heart almost every single day.
It's sort of a weird thing, if you think about it psychologically, that we do this to ourselves, that when you get a dog, you're sort of making a strange promise to yourself that in 10 to 15 years, you're going to deal with absolute heartbreak.
Exactly.
And it's going to be horrible.
It's like,
you're going to fall in love with this thing.
And it's going to last for a very long time.
I know. And it's like, I know that one day I'm going to have the absolute worst day of my life.
Yeah.
Like, I know that day is coming. And just
thinking about it is terrible.
But, as hard as that is to deal with, it also really makes me appreciate Shadow's life and how short it is. And, those days that I come home from work and I'm really tired and I don't want to take him on a walk, but hey, his life is much shorter than mine. And, it's my job to help him live it to the fullest. So,
and I think it makes it even more important for us to take them places with us, to spend as much time as possible.
Exactly.
Which is why it's so important for us to know about those dog-friendly places.
Yeah. And so many of us work, full time during the week and probably have a dog walker, they have a doggy door or whatever. But to be able to take them more places with you on the weekend, whether, you're walking the Beltline and you want to pop into a restaurant and, just take your dog with you, that's the best time of their lives is when they're spending time with us. So.
Absolutely.
Yep.
What is your favorite dog-friendly place in Atlanta?
I love Bar Taco.
I love Bar Taco.
Yeah, so it's walking distance from me. And Shadow's sort of hit or miss at places. I can take him somewhere and he is the world's best dog. Like, people come up and compliment him. Aww. Or I can take him somewhere and it's like, we need to leave right now. Like, it's just like, I don't know. He's kind of moody and I don't know what gets into him. So I love Bar Taco because it's walking distance from us. So he can kind of get his wiggles out on the walk up there. They have sort of the separate area to where if it's kind of crowded on the other side, there's always a couple of tables in this little corner that they have. And, they always just bring out the water bowls and stuff like that. And the staff is always super nice to him. So that's one of my personal favorites because I don't always trust to bring him somewhere that I know is going to be really crowded with a lot of dogs just because of his behavior,
Plus you can get tacos.
Exactly. So, and there's never anything better than tacos.
Right.
So.
I agree.
What would you say is the most unique dog-friendly place you've come across so far?
That's a tough, well, I guess it's not tough. I have to give a shout out to Fetch. I mean, they're just awesome. The dog park bar idea, man, why didn't we all think of this 10 years ago? So, yeah, I mean, that's a really, really great place. And who doesn't just love day drinking and petting dogs?
Yeah, we're hoping to be meeting with them and doing an episode with them in the very near future.
Awesome. Yeah.
But when she first told me about it, it was exciting and simultaneously heartbreaking because I feel like I kind of just recently had that idea because I wanted to call mine Bark Bar, but it was just kind of a bar and the whole point, you're encouraged to bring your dog. We really don't want you coming without your dog.
Exactly.
But you bring your dog and have a drink and chill out and, that kind of have a big open space for them to run and play. But yeah, those Steven and those other fellows beat me to it.
Yeah.
And the last time I was at Fetch, actually when I was with you, this is where I met Randall, was at Fetch. I was actually without my dogs. So I was like that weird person at the playground without a kid. And so that was a little bit awkward, but I still had the best day ever because I was petting other dogs and it was just this Disney World for dog lovers. So
except fortunately the police don't get called, when you're at the dog park by yourself.
True. I think it's a little less alarming when you're there without a dog, but I still felt a little bit awkward. Everyone has their dog there and I don't. But it's just the way it worked out. And also my dogs aren't always the best in those situations. Yeah. So
yeah, that's the only thing. As great of a place as it is, sometimes I like going when it's overcast or kind of cold because I know it's not going to be as crowded and it can get really crowded there. And
on a nice day,
hit or miss, so
really crowded.
Yeah.
And dog personalities are really, they're hit and miss sometimes with other dogs. A dog can be, again, very much like people, generally dog friendly. But there are certain things that, whether it's just a vibe or a smell or who knows, whatever, that they just don't like about certain other dogs. And when you're in a big environment like that, or almost like any dog park, sometimes they clash and that outcome is not always so great.
Yes.
Definitely.
And I'd like to say also how I met Randall.
Yeah.
I mentioned I met her at Fetch, but prior to that, we were both involved with a photo shoot for our friends at I'd Rather Be With My Dog, who we hope to speak with very soon on an episode as well.
Oh, that was a day after I did it, right?
Yeah.
I missed out.
I
didn't get to do the Fetch experience.
You didn't get the Fetch after party.
I think we did a group photo too.
We did a group photo and we so we did a photo shoot for I'd Rather Be With My Dog, and then we all headed over to Fetch and had drinks and played with dogs, and it was kind of the best day ever.
It was a great day.
So do you have a favorite funny dog story?
Oh, man. I don't know. Shadow's kind of like a doofus sometimes. And I guess like it's always funny to me when he's like just staring at a squirrel, like trying to chase it, but he's still walking forward, and he'll like run into a car, and I'm just like, trying to get you to look the other way. And I guess like sometimes he gets like really, really needy, and I don't know what's caused it. And I mean, this 90-pound dog just has to sit like fully submerged on my lap. But yeah, I don't know if I have like one story that really jumps out at me, but he keeps me laughing, that's for sure.
What about a dog shaming story? We all love a good dog shaming story.
Yeah, I mean, he eats poop.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Shadow.
He's that dog at the dog park. So that's I have to always I'm the helicopter mom at the dog park. That's like not more than 10 feet away from him because
you have to
nobody wants their dog to eat poop, but he's that dog.
Oh wow!
Gosh.
Yeah.
Now, have you traveled anywhere, like any big trips with Shadow?
Yeah, he goes anywhere that I can drive for the most part. He goes with me. He's probably never going to be well behaved enough for me to take him on an airplane. Although, I mean, I would love to. I think that'd be awesome. But yeah, so we go. We have a family beach house in Amelia Island that's about 5 hours from here, and he loves going there. It's a super dog friendly island, and he's scared of the waves, but it's awesome. And then he drives home with me to Kentucky. I've got family in like Mississippi, friends in New Orleans, and so yeah, he's a pretty well-traveled dog.
Nice. So piggybacking on that, do you have any kind of favorite dog travel tips or like dog travel products that you find really useful?
Yeah, I highly recommend getting like the little hammocks for the back seat of your car, especially if like it's just your dog in the back seat. Great seat protector, and Shadow sheds like crazy, so it really helps with that. What else? Don't feed them too soon before you get in the car.
Oh, that's a great tip.
He doesn't usually get car sick, but you never know. And then I love those little water bottles, which I actually hope we're going to start selling some PuppyPals ones on our website soon. The ones that you fill up with water, but they have the little bowl attached, so you can, So, when you're stopping for gas, just give them some water, and other than that, I mean, Shadow's pretty easy in the car. I feel like I really lucked out. I did get him a pillow for the car, so he can nap if he wants to.
Yeah.
If you and your dog could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
That's a great question. Boy, I mean, this isn't too far, but I just heard about that Georgia glamping experience. And yeah, they're like really dog friendly. And I think they have like air conditioned tents.
Nice.
So I'm like, that is something really cool that I have to check out. We've definitely had a lot of our friends on social media like tagging us in their experiences lately. So that'd be really cool. And I mean, really, I would love in a perfect world to one day be able to just like get in an RV with Shadow and just kind of take PuppyPals on the road and hit all the best dog-friendly spots and, tell more people about us and stuff like that. So that would be the dream.
Now, did you grow up with dogs?
We had some family dogs, yeah. We had a black lab that was like my age. So I think he died at 13 and I was 13. And we had a dog, a little Bichon Frise named Dolly, but she got hit by a car.
Oh.
We had a little beagle mix, but one day he brought a squirrel into the house that was not all the way dead yet, and my mom might have gotten rid of him that day.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
He found a good home. He just needed a little bit more attention than we could give him. Because me and my sisters were at that age where it's like, yeah, we'll help with the dog. We never helped with the dog. So,
right, of course. Yeah.
So yeah, always had pets growing up, but it's different having like a dog that's like truly your own. And, the relationship Shadow and I have just like, it's always just, been me and him from the beginning. And so, I mean, he's just so loyal and there's nothing better.
Oh.
What was your, and you might have said this, and if you did, I'm sorry, but what was the moment or what was the thing where you're like, I'm going to get a dog now? You went to the rescue and you're like, I'm going to make this happen.
Yeah, no. So I've always wanted one. And actually I moved home for a year with my mom in between college and graduate school. And my mom told me that year that I could get a dog, and she had like a fenced in backyard and everything. And I'm like, this is perfect. Like, I'm not working full time. I've got time to train it. And then I moved home and she was like, never mind.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I was distraught. I was so sad. I wanted to get a little puggle and I wanted to name it Peanut. And, but then it worked out really well because I ended up going to law school in New Orleans and I partied way too hard and would have been a horrible dog parent. So I'm really glad that I didn't get a dog then. And the places I lived in New Orleans just were not dog friendly. The buildings weren't. So then my condition when I moved to Atlanta was I was like, I'm not moving anywhere that doesn't allow dogs. And so it was easy to find an apartment that did. And then I got Shadow not long after I moved here.
Wow. So you've been waiting for the
right moment.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's good. That's very responsible.
Peanut the Puggle. That's cute.
I like that. Well, I love Puggles.
Yeah.
We have a friend of ours. They got a what is it? Some kind of a like a something doodle. It's a big poodle thing, and he told his kids he could name it. Or they could name it. And so the dog's name is Big Booty Ham Sandwich.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's awesome. Kids should be allowed to name more things.
Yeah, you never know what they'll come up with. I think I know the answer to this, but do you have a favorite rescue group or dog charity here in Atlanta?
I can't pick just one because they're all so great.
Yeah,
and they're all great. Working towards the same cause. You know, I mean, obviously I have a special spot in my heart for Rescue Me Georgia because that's where I got Shadow. But, I mean, throughout Puppy Pals, I've worked so closely with so many others. I mean, Paws, Lifeline, Angels Among Us, the Atlanta Humane Society. There's so many. What I do love about Georgia, and this might be the same everywhere, but I feel like then they also have, like, breed-specific rescues. Like, I know there's, like, a Lab Rescue of Atlanta, Golden Rescue of Atlanta, stuff like that. So I always point that out to people that, like, want that purebred dog. Because I do enforce adopt, don't shop. But at the same time, I respect, as long as you're giving a dog a good home, that's really all that matters. Right. But, I do try to spread like, hey, I know you want a golden. Like, they do have a Golden Rescue of Atlanta. And, I mean, no, you can't guarantee it has papers, but, still. So.
Well, I found that papers or not, it will still love you in a very wonderful way.
Exactly.
And be a great companion to your life.
Exactly.
So tell me, I want to talk a little bit more about the app. Is it available on iPhone and Android and everything, and how do we get it?
Yeah, so right now we're on iOS only. We actually are working out a few bugs because we're about to sort of do an app relaunch. We'll have a couple of different more fun features where like the users can actually leave reviews. We're going to actually put like pictures of the venues from people in the dog community here in Atlanta that have like tagged us in those pictures. So it's going to be like a little bit more personal. And we'll offer some new things. And then hopefully that'll happen in the next 30 to 60 days. And then the Android version will be about a month or so following that. We just want to get the kinks worked out of the new iOS version. And then the Android version will be right behind it.
Okay, awesome.
Is there anything else you want us to know about Puppy Pals?
My goal of Puppy Pals when I first started was I just really wanted to hopefully be like a one-stop shop for people with dogs to find information, So it's like, I don't want to be like, we didn't want to be an app like Rover's already a great app out there for like dog sitters and dog walkers. We're not trying to take that from anybody. We just want to like tell people about it, and like tell people not only about the different places you can bring your dogs, but on our website, we're getting ready to add a Puppy Pals certified products and services page where you can kind of shop and get to know like the brands we really love around Atlanta, different dog photographers, different dog sitters, dog trainers, and then, like there's so many great local, dog bandana companies and dog treat companies and stuff like that. And it's just like about getting the word out there. So
I like that.
Thank you.
That's great.
That's awesome. Well, I think that's all we got.
Oh, tell us where we can find you.
Oh, right.
On social media. That's important.
If you're looking for the app, if you just put Puppy Pals, one word in the App Store, it'll come right up. We also have the link on our website, PuppyPalsApp.com, and on our Instagram and Facebook page, both at PuppyPals App.
Nice.
Awesome. Go check them out and download that app.
Yeah, Randall, thank you so much for joining us. It was really awesome getting that
you.
information and having you here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This is awesome what you guys are doing. So
Thanks. Sorry you didn't get to drink more of your mimosa. We had you talking the whole time. So now she's going to go drink her mimosa.
I will finish it.
Oh, I know you will.
Well, that's it for episode 4. So remember, if you want to bring Fido on a trip, but you're worried it could all unravel,
just listen to us. Have Dog Will Travel.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.